Welcome back to our channel. Today we are doing something that was requested by one of our
most loyal followers and somebody who watches every time that we start the video, every premiere, loves the Clippers.
Shout out to
FunkMaster Sleck, our favorite FunkMaster. So thanks for the idea. Remember, if you guys have any ideas for us, we'd love to hear them. We might make a video about it.
Yes, so he suggested that we do a local Banh Mi taste test. So we went to the top 3 places in our area. I did a quick search on Yelp of Banh Mi's, and there's so many in San Gabriel Valley, like so many. Had we bought all, we would be eating for weeks, sandwiches for weeks. So we just narrowed it down to 3 of the places that are local. So what is a Banh Mi sandwich? Banh Mi is a Vietnamese style French sandwich. It's kind of like a fusion, French and Vietnamese. It came about when French was one of their territories in Vietnam, and so they brought over Banh Mi sandwich, and the Vietnamese people incorporated it into their cuisine. So that's how we have a Vietnamese sandwich with a baguette. And I also heard that Banh Mi in Paris is delicious.
And we never got one.
I know. I regret that. But that is what the Banh Mi sandwich is. So people suggested Banh Mi Mi Ta to Chrissy Teigen. David Chang, the chef of Momofuku, he loves Lee sandwiches. And then also one of the other local favorites is Mr. Baguette. So we went to all 3 today. All of these Banh Mi sandwiches were about $5. The Mi Ta one was $5. The Lee sandwich one was $5.49, and the Mr. Baguette was $5.59. Yeah. So all about the same price, about $5. We went to all 3, and I asked the people who work there, what is your most popular sandwich? And that's what we got. The most popular sandwich at each of these places. Here they are. This one is the Lee sandwiches. This one is Mr. Baguette. And this one is Banh Mi Mi Ta. The Lee sandwiches one is like a really popular banh mi chain. I believe they have multiple locations in multiple states. Mr. Baguette is not as big as Lee sandwiches, but they do have multiple locations. I believe they're all in California. And then also the last place, Banh Mi Mi Ta, is a mom and pop shop. This place has been around in Alhambra for, I want to say, more than 20 years. My first Banh Mi Mi Ta was when I was in elementary school. And it was introduced to me from my friend Lucy Dang. Shout out Lucy. And so they're really popular, so popular that they opened up a second location in Rosemead. They're just ran by the mom and dad of the family, and then super small place. So we're gonna get to try all 3 of their one of each, 3 sandwiches today.
So what do we usually look for in these sandwiches? I usually just think about the bread. The bread seems to be the most important part, at least for me. I feel like it's worth it to endure a little bit of pain because I like all my food really hot. And I don't care if this messes up my mouth as long as it tastes delicious.
Yeah. For me, also the bread is very important. It has to be crispy. The baguette needs to be crispy. It can't be too hard where you're gonna break your teeth. And when it's old, you can tell it's old when it's like super soggy. I want to say these 3 places usually do it really well, the bread. And then, so our first one that we have from Lee sandwiches is their #1 special combination. It has the deli meats, it has the vegetables, the pickled vegetables, it has the pate and the Vietnamese mayonnaise. And there's a jalapeno in there. Sometimes a jalapeno will fuck you up. But their sandwich is kind of soft on the bottom. You can kind of tell it's like mass produced. It has these little bumps. On top it's crispy. Let's try it. Mmm. I love the pate here.
That's like the first thing I noticed in the sandwich, even more than the bread, I think.
They have a very, very generous serving of pate in this sandwich. The top is crispy. It's not like very, very hard where it's gonna mess up your mouth. The meat is fresh-ish. I guess as fresh as possible.
And the vegetables added a very nice crunch, and they're not like overpowering.
It's enjoyable. I like it.
What do you give it out of 10?
I give it an 8, 9. I give it a 9-ish. 8.5.
I too give it an 8.5.
Yeah.
I think it's really good. It's really satisfying.
So the next sandwich we're gonna try is Mr. Baguette.
Yeah, this is our usual go-to place.
The bread also has this bumpiness. It's also crispy. Here's the meat. Oh. They're very generous with the meat here.
So here's side-by-side comparison. You can kind of see this way. Very similar in terms of like ingredients. The bread is pretty similar in terms of like the feel of it. I think Mr.
Baguette is
crispier.
more crispy. Yeah, and then Lee's sandwich is a little bit softer.
Yeah.
And also Mr. Baguette, I asked them what is the most popular sandwich. It's number 1, the combination. So we're gonna try it. I like the bread way more at Mr. Baguette. It's crispy, but not too crispy. The ratio between the pate and the mayonnaise and the meat, it's a lot better. Like, whereas the Lee sandwiches, majority of your taste is the pate.
Yeah, in this sandwich, the meat really stands out. I really like meat in my sandwiches. And that's like the first thing I notice when I bite into it, other than the texture of the bread.
The bread is definitely a 10 out of 10. It's so good.
Yeah. There's a reason why we go to this place more often than the others.
Yeah, I give Mr. Baguette a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. This is... Yeah, as a side note, we usually don't like the coffee as much. I think Lee's coffee is almost always the winner.
Yeah. Okay, next we have Banh Mi Ta. Their bread is a lot bigger. The sandwich is shorter compared to these other two, but they're a lot bigger width-wise. Not as crispy as Mr. Baguette.
Here you can see a side-by-side comparison.
This is
thick.
And so we asked, what are your number 1 sandwiches? Which one is the most popular? And he said number 8, the pork. And so inside here, there's a cucumber, there's jalapeno, the pickled daikon and carrot, crushed peanuts, some butter, no pate. Ooh.
Yeah, overall, this is the most different sandwich of the 3. And as a side note, the line here gets pretty long because there's a lot of people waiting, especially on weekends. But what we did is we called ahead, and that saved us a little bit of time.
Yeah, and when you come here, you just have to be patient because it's just 2 people working here majority of the time. So you have to be patient when you come here. So number 8 sandwich. Try.
All right, here we go.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it's a little bit sweet. The meat really stands out on this one. I had the bottom side of the bread, which is a little bit softer instead of the top crispier side. But it's so loaded with meat. It's hard not to notice that. And as I mentioned, I really like the meat ratio in my sandwiches. And it really stands out. The last time we had this sandwich, or one of these sandwiches, I think there was a little bit too much of the pickled vegetables in it, in terms of the ratio, and that stood out almost too much. But this one is an outstanding sandwich. I like it a lot.
I don't like the bread as much, but the meat is very good. Yeah. But it's a little bit too sweet for me.
Yeah.
I would give it an 8.
Yeah, I give this a 9 because I really like the meat in the sandwich.
Yep.
Yeah, and we can really see why people recommend this one so much. This is almost always listed as people's favorite in the area for sure.
It's a mom and pop shop, and they have coffee there, they have baguettes there, and they have drinks there. They have a lot of things there. Yeah, so which one's your favorite out of all three?
Gotta go with Mr. Baguette. Which is funny. This is a side note, but their website is called Mr. Baguettes because somebody already swiped the name Mr. Baguette.
Yeah. My favorite is also Mr. Baguette because of the bread.
The bread.
The bread is so good. This was fun. Let us know what we should do next. And thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you in our next video. Bye!